sit back on my bed. Little dragon here in the cat. Welcome to my second truth talk this month. Same girls, because I'm filming the same day. Well, actually, it's the next day. It's really early in the morning, so like 1:30, 1:40. This truth talk is the gods of Greek and Rome, but I'm doing it a bit differently. The only thing I'm going to talk about here is I'm going to list the gods right now, and I'm going to talk about the gods with an AI image of the god. And so this is going to be a different type of truth talk. Let me know if you like this format. Okay. So the Greek, the head god was Zeus. They had Hera, Athena, Apollo, the mentor, Poseidon, Aphrodite, Hermes, Artemis, Sotus, Dionysus, Hades. Right? And then in ancient Rome we had Apollo, Bacchus, Ceres, Cupid, Diana, Juno, Janus, Juno, Jupiter, Maya, Mars, Mercury, Venus, Neptune, Pluto, Faustina, Saturn, Uranus, Venus, Vesta, Vulcan, and that was it. That's the list of the gods of Greek, gods and goddesses of Greek and Rome. Now I'm going to talk about these gods and goddesses with an image, the voiceover. So let me know how you like that. So welcome to Truth Talk, the gods of Greek and Rome. Well, you notice a lot of them some of them named after planets, and some of them are the ones of the calendar. All right. This is Timothy Kurofsky, Master of Sociology, and talking about the gods and goddesses of ancient Rome. This is Zeus. In ancient Greek, they believed that Zeus was the king of the gods. He led all the other gods and goddesses. And there were also many deities from them. I did this with Chance AI. Some good images of Zeus. have come in Hera, the wife of Zeus. Right? She was the queen of the gods. If you guys seen the movie Clash of the Titans, it was a movie I saw as a young teenager growing up, and it was actually one of my favorite movies about the Greek gods. This kid had this journey, and the gods helped him through his journey. Venus, she's the goddess of war. We believe that she protected them during the time of war. But yeah, that's a good one. Her warring in heaven. Because in biblical, it's Michael who fights in heaven, sending down Lucifer, kicking him out of heaven. And he becomes Satan. Apollo. I'm not talking about the spaceship. Those were some awesome missions in 1969. I remember sitting on my dad's lap and watching the first launch to the moon. It was amazing. Apollo is the god of the sun. He's the god of truth. The god of music, the god of poetry, and the god of dance, and the god of healing. I was speaking of Apollo, this to spaceships. I have to do some spaceships on this too, of course. There's some history with the space shuttles too, you know, when the Challenger exploded, and another one that exploded too. I think it was Discovery and Challenger that just exploded. One had a school teacher on it. Some sad days. Demeter, she is the goddess of fertility, the goddess of agriculture. She is also associated with the underworld. So watch out for Demeter. If she ever makes if she's a beautiful goddess, if she makes an appearance, could be in some trouble. I mentioned Trumpism in my videos, you know, because Trump is such an evil person, and I wish one of these goddesses or gods would just take him straight down to hell, because he's such an evil man. That's a nice one. That's one of my favorite ones that you got. Of course, I cover part of the news with the flowers or with the globes. I use them sometimes. Poseidon. Now we're talking, you know. because I was a Navy man, so I traveled the seven seas, as they say. I also traveled all the five oceans, and he is the god of the sea. He's also the god of horses. He protects sailors, watches over us out at sea. But he can also cause storms. He can also cause chaos if he wants. He's in control of the oceans. Go. Aphrodite, the goddess of love, right? She's also the goddess of beauty. Get a smiling one. She was in love with the war god Ares, right? But she was the wife of Hephaestus. Okay? So, I guess even gods, like humans, cheated on each other, apparently. I love that one with the blue dress. Hermes. He's a god of many, many things, okay? He's the god of travel, the god of business, the gods of weights and measures, and the god of sports, right? So I guess when I played football in high school, for a short time, he watched over me then. But he was also the messenger of the goddess souls to the underworld. Okay? His staff could make men fall asleep instantly. So, use the staff on Trump, send her straight down to the underworld. I can be bad sometimes. But man, Hermes, the huntress. She's the goddess of hunting, of archery, and of childbirth. Right? She was also the goddess of wild animals and was normally portrayed as living in the countryside. She had the ability to send plagues or sudden death to mortals. But she could also heal them. She was the twin sister of the god Apollo. Oh, I love that one with the purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors. Yellow and purple are my two favorite colors. Aries. the god of war. He was not as cunning as Athena. Wasn't as cunning as her. He was not a popular god. He was the most hated by the children of Zeus. So Ares, the god of war, was a very hated god. He created chaos in his wake, war and death. That's what he left behind. So yes, of course he was hated. Just like Trump is hated right now because of a war that he caused. The unconstitutional war. The Posotus, the god of fire. So I can't pronounce all these names. That's why I have them written down. He was the god of fire, volcanoes, blacksmiths, and craftsmen. He was married to the goddess Aphrodite. He was also the father of Godesses, the legendary king of Athens. Wow. I think I went to another god right now. No, the next one is the high spirit one. It ends with the blue. Here we go. This is the beginning of the one with the high spirits. I put a little of him on this. He is the god Dionysus. He's the god of high spirits. He's the god of strong emotions. Okay? He's the god of wine. He was a fun-loving god. And he was also the god of drama and the god of theater, the god of acting. There he is making the grapes. He has the grapes and he can turn it right into wine. And I think if you think of some of the biblical stories, they're kind of similar to some of the gods. How we turn that into wine. Hey, Hades, the god of the underworld. Uh-oh. According to myth, he and his brother Zeus and Poseidon defeated the Titans and claimed rulership over the cosmos, ruling the underworld, air, and sea, respectively. The solid earth long lived the Gaia. Wow. Now we are at a new world. The god of goddesses of ancient Rome are coming up. Starting with Apollo again. The god of light, the god of the sun, the god of truth, the god of prophecy, the god of healing, the god of plague, the god of music, and the god of poetry. Another god of many things. Bacchus. The god of grape harvest, wine making and wine, of ritual madness and ecstasy. Wow. I guess you want some forbidden pleasures. That's the god to go for. Ceres, goddess of harvest. They say if you pray to Ceres, you're going to have a fruitful harvest. It's going to be plentiful. Oh yeah, that was one of my favorite ones too, though. On the moonlight. Cupid. Well, we all know about Cupid in Valentine's Day, right? That's exactly what he is. He's the god of affection, the god of desire, and a god of love. You know, often portrayed in the undergarment, the diaper, with the wings. And he has that arrow, and you shoot that arrow at you, and you'll fall in love. Like, see, you desire somebody and get hit by Cupid's arrow, and affection will never fade. All right, Diana. I did some very artful things here. I used the roses and some different flowers. Diana is the goddess of the hunt, goddess of the moon, and the goddess of birthing. All right. She had the power to talk to and control animals as well. I find this stuff fascinating, and that is fascinating. There's that pink and purple one. Specifically put that one in. This is all done with the Chance AI. It's a free AI. Fortuna. Fortune. Hence, that's what Fortuna means. Fortune. That's what she is. She's the goddess of luck and fortune. Take a sip. Janus. Two faces. Now he was the god of two faces. Right? And the two faces represented the future and the past. Right? And right there in the middle of those two faces is the present. That one was cool. I had to use that one with the fire on the faces, Babylon had 4 bases. That's what it was. It was just the God of the future and the past. Juno. The protecting and guardian of females, okay? So basically she's the one that looked after the women, all right? The peacock is her symbol. Of course, the month of June is named after her. Notice some of the gods are named after months. Some of the gods are named after planets. Jupiter, the king of the gods. Of course, that's also named after a planet. He's the god of the light in the sky, protector of the state laws. He is the son of Saturn, brother of Neptune, and husband of Juno. Maya, the goddess of growth. This is only associated with women. The month of May is named after her. So she's also a goddess that looked after women, helped them to grow, mature, become who they are and who they want to be. There it is, another purple and pink one, some of my favorite colors. Mars, the god of war. Probably recognize the character from the God of War video game. And the gods of war, they're the ones that looked after the warriors. They're the ones that looked after the soldiers. And nowadays, I guess you would, if they still believed in those type of gods, the military men of the Navy and all that, the warriors. Of course, but the Navy has their own gods too, Poseidon, Neptune. There it is, like that smoke screen effect I did with that planet, with the Mars planet. Mercury, another planet. He was the god of trade and profit, of merchants and travelers. Some of the cool stuff I had to get, I wanted to get some of the planets too. I did this. And we know he liked some of the special effects I did too over top of some of the pictures. Minerva, Minerva, the goddess of wisdom. Ooh, that part was cool. The goddess of medicine. The goddess of the arts. The goddess of dying. The goddess of science and trade. She is associated with the owl and is the daughter of Jupiter and Metis. Neptune. It is the ocean waves. My Navy days. The god of the sea. Well, in the Navy we had, when we crossed the equator, for the first time in 1988. And we had shellback initiation where we put the car on our hands and knees, and we got pretty much beaten with shillelaghs on the backside, and had to climb through a chute of garbage and just to become a shellback, under King Neptune, right? Because he was the king, and at the end we had to jump into the gun tub of the ship that was filled up with green dye, and that was actually kind of fun. Pluto, which is no longer a planet, he's one of the gods of the underworld, and he's the judge of the dead. Of course, I believe in Jehovah, my God. He's going to judge us all. That's what I believe. Because this was ancient times. Yeah, that's another cool one. You like that fire? Like I said, let me know how you like the effects. Right? Plus, Serapina, the queen goddess of the underworld. Alright? So, she was the queen. And she was a beautiful, young, lip girl. But yet, it is the fire. She ruled next to the other gods of the underworld. She also had her own throne. Wow. That's where Trump's going. Saturn, another planet, another god. The god of agriculture, the god of agriculture, of liberation, and the god of time. Hence the wings of Saturn, the wings of time. That's cool right there. Has the ring around it. Venus, the god of the sky. All things in the heaven, the clouds, the moon. He was part of, okay? The birds of the air. He controlled everything in the skies. Venus, the goddess of love, the goddess of beauty, the goddess of sex, the goddess of fertility, the goddess of prosperity, and get this one. This is with their lover. But get this one. She is also the goddess of victory. How cool is that, guys? Almost done. Vista. She was the goddess of hearth, the goddess of home, goddess of family. She is symbolized by a sacred fire. There is a priesthood devoted to her, the Vestal Virgins. Vestal Virgins. Now with the last one, Vulcan, the god of fire. Okay. Boom, fire. Boom, flames. Boom, it leads to what? The manufacture of art, manufacture of arms, swords, and modern day firearms today, I guess, but swords back then. Manufacture of iron and armor for good gods and heroes. This forge was believed to be situated underneath Mount Etna in Sicily. Vulcan is often depicted with the blacksmith's hammer. And that is the gods and goddesses of Greek and Rome. Thank you.